helpful for you. So before we start the class, I want you to invite your friends. Let them know that the class have started. Now, share this video with them. Let them know the class have started. If you need to put a call across, kindly do that. Okay, so that everybody will enjoy today's class. All right. So I will be waiting for you to do that. So while you are doing that, I want you to get your writing material down because today's class is going to be interactive. So I will want you to get yourself ready for today's class. All right, so um, let's look at it. How many people are available now? Okay, I think I'm seeing like 3 people around. All right, okay. So don't forget, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do that. You need that so that you will get a notification whenever we're online. And don't forget to tap the like button. And always remember to drop your thoughts. All right, okay. So now let's dive into today's class. We are looking at indices. Now let me begin to ask you, what do you know as indices? Now, indices is just a plural of index. And what do we call index? Is just a power of a number. Now, if you have a number of this form, 2 raised to the power of x. Now, this x is what we call the index. It's the index. All right. So now, if I have something like this now, times 2 raised to the power of y now. So I now have more than 2 index. So I call them indices. All right. So now we have rules that guides operations in indices. So we are going to be applying those rules to solve some of the problems that I've penciled down for today's class. All right. So I want to believe you have already informed your friends, and I hope they join us very soon. Okay, now let's look at the first question we have here. Now simplify the following indicial expression. Simplify the following indicial expression. We have 3 questions here. All what we have here, they are expression, indicial expression. And don't forget that I've said it in one of my videos that there's difference between indicial expression and indicial equation. This is an expression. We simplify expression, but equation we solve for the unknown. Now this is an expression, so we want to find a way of simplifying it. Now let's start with the first one. We have 81 over 16 raised to the power of minus 3 over 4. Okay, so how do you do this? Now, the first thing to do now is to do away with this negative. So once you remove this negative, the denominator moves up while the numerator comes down. Now let's do that. So we have 16 over 81 raised to the power of 3 over 4. Okay, and now the next thing is to apply one of our laws of indices. Now, this 4 here becomes the roots of the base of this number. All right, so this now becomes 4th roots. 4th roots of 16 over 81. Now we have 3 at the top, so raised to the power of 3. Okay, and now you find the 4th root of 16 and 4th root of 81. So I want you to quickly tell me what's going to be the 4th root of 16 over 81. 16 over 81. So I want us to try that and quickly drop that. Now, what is the 4th root of 16 over 81? Yes, I'm waiting for people to give me answer. What is the 4th root of 16 over 81? All right, I'm seeing several answers. Okay, so Balogun, I can see Balogun, I can see Taiwo. All right, okay, good. Yes, 2 over 3, good. I can see 2 over 3. I can see 8 over 81 over 3. I have 2. I have 2 over 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Fine. All right, we are doing very fine. Now, look at it. Now, if I ask you to find fourth root of a number, what I'm asking you is, give me a number that you are going to multiply by itself 4 times. Give me a number that you multiply by itself 4 times, and that is going to give you what you have here and this. All right, now, the fourth root of 16 is what? Is 2. Because when you multiply 2 by itself 4 times, you are going to have 16. So now this now is 2 over 3. Okay, hope you get that. So now 81, when you multiply 4 times, you are going to have 81. All right, so fourth root of 81 is 3. So we have 3 here. Okay, so now this now gives us, now what this one means is 2 over 3 times 2 over 3 times 2 over 3. All right, so what will that one give you? 2 times 2 times 2. That gives you what? 8 over 3 times 3 times 3. That is 27. And this is going to be the answer to this problem. All right. Okay, so how do we award marks to this type of question? Suppose it's given to you as an exam question. So now, for removing this negative, there's a method mark for that. Okay. Now, for applying law of indices and getting this, there's a method mark 1. And for getting the answer, you have an accuracy mark 1. So 3 marks all together, right? Okay, so I want to believe you understand this one. Now let's move to the second one. All right, we should not have much issue with the second one because it looks like the first one. So now let's look at this. B, we have 8 over 27 raised to power of minus 1 over 3 times 4 over 9 raised to power of 1 over 2. Okay, so now look at this question. All right, so what's the first thing to do? Now, when you look at this, just like what we did here, now you are going to do away with this negative. And don't forget, once you remove the negative, the denominator moves up while the numerator moves down. All right, so that is what we are going to do now. So now this expression turns to 27 over 8 raised to the power of 1 over 3 times 4 over 9 raised to the power of 1 over 2. Okay, you get that? Now, the next thing now is to apply the law of indices here. So the denominator of this fraction becomes the root. The denominator becomes the root here. So now this turns to cube root of 27 over 8 times square root of 4 over 9. Okay, so now you have this cube root of 27. What's that one asking for? What are you going to multiply by itself 3 times that is going to give you 27? So what is that number? That should be 3. 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 3, 27. So that's 3. And now the cube root of 8 will give you 2 times. Now this square root now, square root what you multiply by itself to give you 4 and 3. So we have 2 over 3. All right. So now 2 cancel 2 here and 3 cancel 3. So the answer is what? 1. All right. So that is the answer to the second question. Now let's look at the third one. Let's look at the third question. All right. Don't forget to invite your friends, and don't forget to also give a thumb as you're watching. All right. Now let's look at the third one. Okay, so we have 256 over 81 raised to the power of 1 over 4 times square root of 81 over 64. All right, so I want to believe by now you're already smiling because this question is just like what we just did now. I know you are very smart to know what to do now. Okay, so now let's do it together. Now this is going to give you, don't forget we said anything we have here will be the root. So if it is 4, you find the fourth root of what we have here. So fourth root of 256 over 81 times square root of 81 over 64. Okay, now you're going to do this for me. Now, what is the fourth root of 256 and 81? Okay, so just give me the fourth root of 256 over 81. So what will that one give you? Okay, it's just a replica of what we did here. So give me the fourth root of 256 over 81. What are you going to have? So quickly drop your answer now before we continue. Yes, let me see. Okay, I'm seeing 4 and 3. Okay, I can see 4 over 3. Yes. Okay, I can see 4. Okay, I can see 4 and 3. Okay, 4 and 3, 4 over 3. I can see 4 over 3. 4 over 3. Okay. All right, let's wait for others. Please drop your answer before we move on. Okay. 4 over 3, 4 over 3. Oh, that's good. All right. So you guys are brilliant. You are doing very well. Okay. So now the fourth root of this is 4, just like what you have. And the fourth root of this is what? Is 3. So now this turns to 4 over 3. 4 over 3. So those of you that got 4 over 3, can you clap for yourself? Clap for yourself. That is very good. Now let's look at this one now. So what is going to be the square root of this? That is 9 over what? Over 8. Okay. So what are you going to multiply by itself to give you 81? That is square root of 81. So that is 9. And the same thing also applies to this. So now you can see here, 4 goes here 1, 4 goes here 2. 3 goes here 1, 3 goes here 3. So we have 3 over 2. So we can't stop here because we need to express this in mixed fraction. So the answer is going to be one whole number 1 over 2. This 2 goes in 3 is 1, remainder 1 over 2. So this is going to be the answer to that problem. All right, so how do we award marks to this problem? Now, the first thing is for simplifying this to this. Simplifying this to this, we have a method mark of 1 for this, another method mark 1 for this. For getting 9 over 8, and for getting 4 over 3, we have M1, M1. Okay, and for getting your answer to be one whole number 1 over 2, you have an accuracy mark of 1. Now, I want you to put it at the back of your mind whenever you are solving a problem and your answer, your final answer is an improper fraction, just like what we have here. I observe that most students used to stop. They will just go and leave the answer. Always remember to simplify it to mix fraction, just like what we did here now. So if a student ends here, the students have done a good job, but you have not simplified. So this is where the accuracy mark is. So once you don't write this one, you won't get this one mark. Can you imagine? So always remember to express your answer in a mixed fraction. All right, so that is the first set of the question under indices. So we are moving to the next one. So before we do that, now I want you to give you a thumb, give a thumb to this video, and also don't forget, share this video with your friend. Make sure the video go round and let everyone get a good advantage of this class. All right, now let's move down to another set of questions. Simplify the following. So we have 8 raised to the power of 2 over 3 times 100 raised to the power of 1 over 2 all over 125 raised to the power of 1 over 3. This is the first one. The second one we have 45 x raised to the power of 2, y raised to the power of minus 2 over 9 raised to the power of x raised to the power of 3, y raised to the power of minus 3. Okay, so now these are the two questions. All right, now, so how do we solve this problem? Now, let's look at the first one we have here. 8 raised to the power of 2 over 3 times 100 raised to the power of 1 over 2 all over 125 raised to the power of 1 over 3. So how do you solve this problem? Now, the first thing is to apply the law of indices on each of these terms. Now, look at it. This is the law I'm applying. Whenever you have x raised to the power of m over n, the law of indices says you write it this way: the n roots of x raised to the power of m. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use here. This law I'm going to apply here. Hope you get that. All right, now, so now let's do that now. So we have the cube root of 8 raised to the power of 2 times, now this is square root of 100 over cube root of 125. Okay. Now, the cube root of 8 is what? Is 2. That is what I'm going to multiply by itself to 3 times. I'm going to give you 8. That is 2 raised to the power of 2 times square root of 100. That's 10. We have 10 over, now, the cube root of 125. That is what? That is 5. Okay, so now look here. 5 goes here 1, 5 goes here 2. So we have 2 raised to the power of 2 times 2. Now 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4. That's 4 times 2. And your answer is what? 8. So that is what you have. So how do we award marks to this question? Now, for expressing this, you have converted this to this, and this to this one to this. So there's a method mark 1. Okay, for simplifying, we have M1, and for getting your answer, we have A1. So we have 3 marks altogether for that question. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So I want to believe you are learning 1 or 2 things. Okay, so now let's move to the next one. All right, here we have 45 x raised to the power of 2, y raised to the power of minus 2 over 9 x raised to the power of 3, y raised to the power of negative 3. So how do you simplify this? This is an indicial expression. Now I have to look at like terms. This 45 and 9, they are like terms. Now x raised to the power of 2 and x raised to the power of 3, they are similar and the same thing as y. So I'm going to treat them based on their relationship. Okay, so now let's look at this. I will divide this by this. Okay, so now 45 divided by 9, that gives you 5. Okay, so now the next one is to divide this by this. Now I'm going to be applying law of indices. When dividing and the base is the same thing, you do what to the power? You subtract. All right, don't forget, that's one of the law of indices. When you have x raised to the power of m divided by x raised to the power of n, the result is going to be x raised to the power of m minus n. All right, so I'm going to be doing that here now. So it's going to be x raised to the power of 2 minus 3. Okay, now the next one is going to be y raised to the power of minus 2 minus 3. We already have minus 3 here, so this is a negative 3. Okay, so now we have 5x raised to the power of negative 1 and y raised to the power of minus 2 minus times minus, that gives you plus 3. Okay, now this can be written as 5 times 1 over x times y raised to the power of 1, because minus 2 plus 3 will give you 1. Now look at this. Now this turns to this. This turns to this. Now your law of indices, whenever you have x raised to the power of minus n, the answer is 1 over x raised to the power of n. Okay, so now that is why we have this. So now when you multiply these 3 terms together, you have 5y over x. Now this is going to be the answer to that problem. All right, so that is the solution to this problem. So how do we award marks to this? Now for expressing, applying law of indices here, you award method mark 1 for that. Okay, so for simplifying and getting to this level, we award another method mark for this, and for the last one we have A1. So 3 marks all together. All right, so that is how we expected to solve this problem. Now we are moving down to another aspect of indices, and that is indicial equation. Now what we have been doing so far is indicial expressions. So we have been looking at indicial expressions, and I told you expression, what you can only do to expression is you simplify, you break expression down. But equation, you solve equation, you look for the unknown. Now let us look at examples under indicial equations. So solve the following. Solve the following. Number 1, we have x raised to the power of 2 equals to 81 raised to the power of 1 whole number 1 over 2. Okay, now the second one is 4 over 2 raised to the power of x equals to 64 raised to the power of x. And the third one is 2x raised to the power of 3 equals to 54. The fourth one is okay, now let's work with these 3. So later we go on with the remaining questions. Now look at the questions we have there. So you have to solve the following. You have x raised to the power of 2 equals to 81 raised to the power of 1 over 1 over 2. And then we have 4 over 2 raised to the power of x equals to 64 raised to the power of x, and so on. So now, how do you solve this? Now, don't forget, you are looking for the unknown. You are looking for what? X. In this case, you are looking for x here, and you're also looking for x here. So now let's look at it. Now let's start with the first one. We have x raised to the power of 2 equals to 81 raised to the power of 1 whole number 1 over 2. Now, the first thing to do when you have this type of question now is to express the mixed fraction in improper fraction. Express it in improper fraction. So now this now turns to x raised to the power of 2 equals to 81 raised to the power of, now when you want to convert this one to improper, so you use the denominator to multiply the integer. So 2 times 1, that's 2, plus 1, that's 3. So that will be 3 over 2. Okay? All right. So now this we have x raised to the power of 2 equals to. Now don't forget what I said. Now that this is going to be the root of this. So this is going to be the square root of 81. So I have square root of 81 raised to the power of 3. Okay, so now this gives you x raised to the power of 2 equals to 9 raised to the power of 3. All right, I have to be very smart. Now, I will not go ahead and start looking for 9 times 9 times 9. All right, now the next thing to do now is to take square root of both sides so that I will get rid of this 2 that I have here. So we are going to take square root of both sides. So take square roots of both sides. Okay, so when you do that, now you have x raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 1 over 2 equals to 9 raised to the power of 3 1 over 2. So when you take square roots of a number, it's the same thing as just multiplying the power with 1 over 2. So, and that is what we are just doing now. So this cancels this. So you have x equals to, now don't forget, this is going to be the root of this because we have 2 at the denominator. So we have square root of 9. We still have 3 at the top. So raised to the power of 3. All right, so we have x equals to 3 raised to the power of 3. All right, so that's going to be 3 times 3 times 3. So, and that gives you what? 27. So the answer to this problem is 27. So how do we award marks to this question? Now let's look at it. Now, for having this, we have a method mark for that. And also, for taking square root of both sides, we have another method mark for that. And simplifying having this answer, we have an accuracy mark 1. So it's 3 marks all together. All right, so 3 marks for that question. Okay. Now let's move down to the next question. Now, before we do that, if you are watching and you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly do that. And also, don't forget to give a thumb, give a like. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at the second question. Now we have 4 divided by 2 raised to the power of x equals to 64 raised to the power of x. Okay, now look at the question we have here. So how do you solve this type of problem? Now, what comes to mind is cross multiplication. So this is the same thing as over 1. So you cross multiply. So now let's do that. Now, this will multiply this. So we have 2 raised to the power of x times 64 raised to the power of x equals to 4 times 1, we have 4. Now you can see I'm very careful. I did not just go ahead and say 2 times 64 to have 128. I didn't do that because I'm working with indices. So I have to be very careful the way I handle my numbers. So let's watch out for that. Now, the next thing to do now is that I'm multiplying two indicial expressions together. So I have to make sure that they have the same base so that I'll be able to join them together. So I will apply one of the laws of indices. So now look at it. We have 2 raised to the power of x times. Now express 64 in index form. So what will that give you? I think that's going to give you 2 raised to the power of 6, right? So x so equals to 4. Okay, so now the next thing now is you can see that we have same base. So you add the powers together. So this is going to give you 2 raised to the power of x plus 6x. Okay, so and this is going to give you what? That's 2 raised to the power of 2. Okay, so that is what we have. Now the next thing now, you should look at it now, since the bases are equal, so you can equate the powers. So we have x plus 6x equals to what? Equals to 2. Okay, so now when you add this together, you have 7x equals to 2. So you can divide both sides by the coefficient of x, and that is x equals to 2 over 7. So this is going to be the answer to that problem. All right. So I want to believe the first time you see this question, it looks as if it's hard. You can see it's very simple, something you can easily work with. Okay. So how do we award marks? Now, for expressing this as this, there's a method mark because you have applied, you have simplified this, or you have expressed it in indicial form. So there's a method mark for that. Now, for applying law of indices here, there's another method mark. For adding this together, another method mark. And for getting this answer, we have A1. 3 marks 3 marks altogether. All right, so now before I solve this one, I want you to try this. Just follow the step we have been using. Try this third question and let me have your answer in the comment section. I know you are very brilliant. You are going to do that for me. So in 2 minutes, attend to this question and let me have your answer. Find the value of x if 2x raised to the power of 3 equals to 54. Okay, do this and let me have your answer in the comment section. Okay, somebody have gotten an answer. I can see 3. Let's wait for others to get the answer to that problem. I want you to try that. Question number 3. What is the value of x? What is the value of x? Okay, can see Balogun giving an answer to be 3. Okay, and also I can see Any. The answer is 3. Another Balogun 3. So I can see Kunle. I know you have 6. Okay. So Adenike have 3. Okay. Olamilekon have 3. Balogun have 3. Adenike have 3. So I can see Adewale have 6. Okay, I can see 3. I can see 3. All right, that's a very good one. Okay, all right. So in the next 10 seconds, we are going to solve the problem together. So let your answers start rolling in. Okay, okay. All right. Now, okay. Adeleye 3 again. Right. Now let's solve the problem together and let's see what we have. Let's solve the problem together. We have 2x raised to the power of 3 equals to 54. Now, look at this. I'm looking for x. Now, the first thing to do now is I want to, now at the back of my mind, I want x to stand alone. So I'm going to remove all number that surrounds x. Now, the first one to remove is the coefficient of x cubed, and that is 2. So now how will I remove this? I will divide both sides by 2. Okay, can we do that now? Okay, let's do that. We have 2x raised to the power of 3 over 2 equals to 54 over 2. All right, so this will cancel this. All right, so we have now isolated x now, except for we still have 3 at the top there. So now when you divide this by 2, you have 27. Okay, so what is the next thing to do? The next thing to do is to take cube root of both sides. When you have a cube, you want to remove a cube, you have to find the cube root so that the cube will leave. So now we are taking to take cube roots of both sides. So when you do that, you have x raised to the power of 3 raised to the power of 1 over 3, and we have 27 raised to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, can you see that? So this is cube root, this is cube root. So or I write it this way, cube root. It's still the same thing. But let's use this 1 over 3. So I'm taking cube root of both sides. So now this cancels this. So I have x raised to the power of 1, which is the same thing as x. Also, now I can write this as cube root of 27. So what's going to be cube root of 27? What are you going to multiply by itself 3 times? That gives you 27. The answer is 3. Fine. So you guys are very smart. You can see a lot of you got the answer as 3. Please give it to yourself. Put your hands together for yourself. That's very brilliant of you. So that is the answer. So x equals to 3. X equals to 3. That is awesome. Now, let's move down to another set of questions. Let's move down to another set of questions. Okay, solve 9 raised to the power of r plus 2 equals to 27. 3 raised to the power of 2x plus 1 over 3 raised to the power of 3x plus 4 times 3 raised to the power of 6 minus 7x equals to 27 raised to the power of x. Okay, so these are the questions. Now let's do this these problems together. Okay, now let's look at the first one. The first one is pretty simple, very simple. Now look at what we have for the first one. We have 9 raised to the power of r plus 2 equals to 27. Now, what comes to mind now is to express these numbers in their index form, because I want a situation whereby they have the same base. So once they have the same base, I will equate the powers. All right, now, so 9 is the same thing as 3 raised to the power of 2, because 3 times 3 is 9. Now, let's look at this one now. Now, this is 27. 27 is the same thing as 3 raised to the power of 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So now, this equation turns to 3 raised to the power of 2. Now, you already have a power, that's r plus 2 equals to 3 raised to the power of 3. Can you see that? All right. So now, the bases are equal. This is the same thing as this, so you can equate the power. So you now have 2r plus 2 equals to 3. So this is what you have now. Since the base is the same thing, so you can equate the powers. So now, what's the next thing? You open the bracket. You have 2 times r, you have 2r plus 2 times 2, that is 4, equals to 3. So you move this, transpose this, move it to the other side, you have 2r equals to 3 minus 4. Okay, so you have 2r equals to minus 1. So you divide both sides by 2. So you divide this by 2, this by 2. So this cancel this, you have r equals to minus 1 over 2. So this is the answer to the first part of the question. So now marks are awarded in this form. Expressing this in index form, a method mark 1. And for equating it, equating the powers, another method mark. And for getting the answer, we have an accuracy mark of 1. So 3 marks altogether. All right. Okay. Now let's look at the next question. Now let's look at the next question. Okay, that's a very big one. So I need to clean this place so that it's a very big one, but it's very simple. Okay, so how do we solve this problem? Now, the first thing to do is to cross multiply. I will cross multiply. Now let's cross multiply. So now everything we have here will multiply itself with 27 raised to the power of x. Now let's do that. We have 3 raised to the power of 3x plus 4 times 3 raised to the power of 6 minus 7x times 27 raised to the power of x, okay, equals to 3 raised to the power of 2x plus 1. Okay, so now the next thing now is to find a way of making everything here to have the same base. All right, so that I'll be able to multiply them together. All right, so I need to adjust 27. Don't forget 27 is the same thing as 3 raised to the power of 3. Okay, so now I have 3 raised to the power of 3x plus 4 times 3 raised to the power of 6 minus 7x times 3 raised to the power of 3, okay, which is the same as 27x. We have x here equals to 3 raised to the power of 2x plus 1. All right, now the next thing is to tidy up the left-hand side. Now, since they have the same base and they are multiplying each other, so you add the powers together. So this plus this plus this. Okay. So now we have 3 raised to the power of, now let's add this and this and this together. So you have 3x plus 4 plus, what do we have here? We have 6 minus 7x. Okay. Plus what? Plus 3x. Plus 3x equals to 3 raised to the power of 2x plus 1. Okay. All right, now, so now let's tidy up what we have here. So we have 3 raised to the power of, now let's look at similar terms. Now we have 3x here. This another 3x here. How many x is that? That is 6x. Now you are now having minus 7x. So 6x minus 7x, that gives you minus 1x. All right, so the negative is more than the positive. So now you have minus x. Okay, now let's look at the numbers. So we have 4 and 6. So when you add 4 and 6 together, you have 10. So you have plus 10 equals to 3 raised to the power of 2x plus 1. Now here you can see we have equal base. So since the base is the same thing, so you can equate the powers. So you have minus x plus 10 equals to 2x plus 1. Right? So here you collect the like terms. Can we do that? So we have minus x. So this one moves here, minus 2x. We have 1 left here. So this one comes to this side. The sign changes to minus 10. Right? So here now, when you join this together, minus x minus 2x. You just have a depth of 1x and a depth of 2x. So the depth will be 3. So that's minus 3x. So we have minus 3x equals to 1 minus 10. That gives you minus 9. Okay? So we have minus 9. So here you divide both sides by the coefficient of x because you want x to stand alone. So what you have beside x, so you divide both sides with it. So you have divide by minus 3, divide by minus 3. So this we cancel this. We have x equals to, now negative cancel negative. So we have 3. So the value of x is 3. Okay, so that is the answer to the problem. So now let's see how the marks will be awarded. All right. Here now you have cross multiply, and after that you have expressed this one in index form. There will be a method mark for that, for expressing 27 in index form. All right, now for adding all these powers together and writing a single base, so there's a method mark for that, M1. You have applied one of the laws of indices. All right, now you have tidied it up. Now for equating the powers, so there's another method mark. We have M1. Okay, so now for solving and getting x to be 3, so you have an accuracy mark of 1. So altogether we have 4 marks. So I want to believe you've learned one or two things. So if you enjoyed the class, don't forget to give a thumb, and also share as you're watching. Share this video with your friends. Share with any platform you think your friend may be. So share it, let it go viral. All right, now let's look at another question. Let's look at another question. Now, if 125 equals to x is equals to 25 raised to the power of y, find y over x. All right, so this one is for you. I want you to try this. If 125 raised to the power of x equals to 25 raised to the power of y, find x over y. Now, can you quickly try this and let me have your answer in the comment section. Now, let's quickly try this. Okay, somebody have given an answer, but it's the reverse of what we are looking for. Okay. Find y over x. Find y over x, not x over y. That goes to Kunle. All right, you have to find y over x. So I'm seeing answers 2 over 3, 2 over 3, 2 over 3, 2 over 3, Surajat. Okay. Any, we have 3 over 2, Balogun 3 over 2. So I can see this is Kunle, I know, 2 over 3. Okay. So Obasanya, okay, that's 3 over 2. Nasiru, 3 over 2. Okay. Can see 3 over 2. Now please let others drop their answers. Yes, 3 over 2, 2 over 3. Which one will be the answer? I can see 2 over 3, 3 over 2. Oh, I'm seeing 2y over 3x. That is Shuku, Yashuku. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Yes, I can see that a lot of us are actually doing something. And I used to tell you, once you are given a problem and you didn't get the answer, you don't need to be discouraged. Okay. Mathematics, sometimes you solve and you might not get the answer. What you need to do is just to sit up and also find a way of getting your results. So don't be discouraged. All right. So for those of you that will not get the answer. So we still have more questions we are going to try. All right, now let's look at the question we have here. Now we have 125 raised to the power of x equals to 25 raised to the power of y. So how do you solve this? The first thing to do is to express these numbers, the base here, in index form. So what's going to be the index form of 125? That is 5 raised to the power of 3. Okay, and you have a power here, we have x. And this is the same thing as 5 raised to the power of 2 times y. So now you can see we have equal base. So then you can equate the powers. So you have 3x equals to 2y. Now I have to look at the question. What am I looking for? I'm looking for y over x. So y should be at the top. Now the first thing I'm going to do, since I'm looking for y which is at the top, I will divide both sides by everything beside y, which is 2. Okay. I'm looking for y over 2. So my attention is on y. So I'll divide this by 2, this by 2. So this cancel this. So I have 3x over 2 equals to y. Now, what I'm looking for y over x. So now the next thing now is to divide both sides by x so that I will have this. Hope you get that. So I will divide this by x and also divide this by x. All right. So now I will have 3x over 2x. Whenever you are dividing a number by another number, so that number, the divisor is going to be at the denominator. So that is the reason why we are having x here. we have y over x. Hope you get that. So we have x in both sides, the denominator. So x will cancel x. So therefore we have y over x equals to 3 over 2. Good. So a lot of us got this answer. So if you get this answer, I want you to give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. You are trying. That's very good. Okay, that's brilliant of you. So that is the answer. You can see that math is fun and it's very easy. So that's the reason why large number of you were able to get the answer. So it's not something complex. All you just need to do, just sit down and follow the step one after the other. You have your answer. So how do we award marks to this? Now the first thing, expressing this in index form, having 5 raised to the power of 3, 5 raised to the power of 2, there's a method mark, right? For equating the powers, we have another method mark. We have equated 3x to 2y. So method mark. And then for getting this answer, 3 over 2, not 2 over 3. So those of you that got 2 over 3, what you're actually looking for is x over y. Now the question is asking for y over x. So you follow this approach. So the answer is 3 over 2. So that is going to be the answer to the problem. So 3 over 2 is the correct answer. Okay, now let's look at the next one. Let's look at the next one. Okay, I can see somebody asking for a recap of what we have done. Probably they join us late. So let's do this last one. I will try as much as possible. If I can just give a summary of what we have done. Of course, now there's no how we can cover everything all over. But now let's look at this question. Just flow along. Okay, now we have the solve for y if 3 raised to the power of y plus 3 raised to the power of y plus 1 equals to 108. Okay, I want us to solve this problem. Let's try this one in just 2 minutes. So let's see what we are going to have. I think I've done something like this in my previous video. So now let's try this one. Let's see what we can do. Let's do this one. So once you get the answer, you drop it in the comment section. So this time around, I'm expecting a lot of you to get the answer. So let's try this and drop the answer. Solve 3 raised to the power of y plus 3 raised to the power of y plus 1 equals to 108. Okay, I can see answer now rolling in. We have y equals to 3. Okay, we have y equals to 6. Honestly, since we have brilliant people in the house today, okay, now let's wait for others. We have y equals to 6. So that is Adeleye. I can see Adeleye. I can also see Obasanya, Adenike. Okay. I'm also seeing Olansin, okay, y equals to 3. Oluwatosin, y equals to 3. Okay, Surajat, I can see y is 6. Kunle, you know y equals to 3. Okay, Nasiru, have y equals to 6. Moonlight, y equals to 3. Okay, now let's begin to drop our answer. So by now we should be rounding up. Okay, I'm seeing more answers. Balogun, y is 6. Henry or Henny, okay, Henny, y is 3. Okay, all right, okay, so now let's look at the problem together and see those that have the answer. But honestly, I must appreciate you. You are all doing very well, because mathematics is all about practicing. Once you practice it, either you get it or not, you are in the process of being an expert. Okay, so once you do something and you have an answer, either correct or not, you are building yourself. You can see math is just a form. All right, now let's try this together. Now you have 3 raised to the power of y plus 3 raised to the power of y plus 1 equals to 108. So what's the first thing you are going to do? I'm thinking some of us did something that is wrong. So I want to tell you what you must not do. Now, you must not say, okay, because the base is the same thing, you now add the powers together. You must not do that. If you do that, you'll be wrong. Now, why? Because the law of indices have it as x raised to the power of m times x raised to the power of n equals to x raised to the power of m plus n. Now, what we have here is multiplication and not addition like we have in this case. Okay, so now what you are going to do now is to apply this law on this one only. All right, so it's just like we are reversing it. So now this is like your y and this is like your 1. So that means this is going to be y and this is 1. So can you see that now? So y, this one is 3 and this is 3, this is 3. Okay, so now, so this one turns to 3 raised to the power of y equals to 3 raised to the power of y times 3 raised to the power of 1 equals to, now this plus, sorry, so 108. Okay, can you see that now? Okay, so you can now see, now your equation is in terms of 3 raised to the power of y. So you write, let p to be equals to 3 raised to the power of y. Okay, so I'm representing p. I'm representing 3 raised to the power of y as p. So that means this equation turns to, now where Oh, sorry. It seems you are still having issue with the sound. So I'm just trying to appreciate you and to tell you that there's going to be another class. There will be another class tomorrow, and all of you should get ready for tomorrow's class. We are going to be looking at another wonderful topic, which is logarithms. So, and I said that the topic is going to be awesome, and I want you to invite your friends for tomorrow's class, and also you two should get ready for tomorrow's class. I also stress the fact that we need to subscribe to this channel so that by the time we are on here, you will be duly notified. And I also show my expression about your conduct. You all did well today, and your reactions to the questions given to you, a lot of you did very well. The answers you gave, they are correct answers. So that means we are all doing well, and then we have built our confidence in mathematics. So that is very good of you. So I wish you a good night rest if you are in Nigeria. So if you're outside the country, so whatever you are doing, so enjoy yourself. So thank you very much. Bye bye.